And we are live. How's everyone doing? This is Jerome Parker, aka Master Shake, and today we are here with Pariss Chandler. Chandler or Chandler?
That's my real name, but my Twitter name is Pariss Athena.
Pariss Athena?
Yeah.
Yes, Pariss Athena on Twitter. And yesterday she has started this amazing thread talking about Black Tech Twitter. Actually, can I do a screen share? I would like to pull up that tweet. You know, I'm not even going to mess with this. I've had so much trouble with it already. Yeah, so I'm just going to, so she pulled up this tweet. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Pariss Athena. And basically just put out a call to all the Black tech people on Twitter and tech creatives. And it went crazy. So let me find the original. You got a lot of retweets on your page. Retweet. Okay, so she said, what does Black Twitter and tech look like? Here, I'll go first. She dropped a photo of herself and said, she's a front-end developer. So it got 2,489 retweets, 7,209 likes. And I don't know how many impressions and stuff you got. I'm sure you could share that with us in a second. But, just going down the list, you just saw a whole bunch of talent, male, female. We're seeing developers, we're seeing DevOps, we're seeing project managers, we're seeing Linux administrators, we're seeing community leads. I mean, it was just beautiful. Like, I literally brought tears to my eyes because, we don't ever see, more than just one of us in the office, like hardly ever. So this was a very, very, very inspirational thread. I added a lot of people. I got a lot of resumes, and I found out there's a lot of people who were close to me and stuff. Cincinnati, some in Louisville. I'm really grateful to you for this thread. So can you just talk about what made you do this? Like, what made you decide to put out? And you also put out another tweet too somewhere. I'll find that one while you're speaking. Yeah. But what made you start this thread?
So there was a tweet by, let me see, make sure. Right, Nerd Nomad Mom. Her name is, I think it's Ariel, but I call
Ari. Her. Yeah.
So she put out a tweet talking about how all these Black developers are coming up and they look really good. So I was like, you know what? Now that I'm on Twitter, like, I am seeing there are a lot of Black developers, but I didn't, I knew we were out there, but not to this extent, just because, the racial divide in the office everywhere. So I was like, let's just keep that going. Like, who is a dev and who's Black and who's a dev? So I made that tweet and I put it out, and I honestly did not expect, like, for this entire thing to happen. I didn't expect this retention at all.
So, okay. So how did it make you feel when you saw, when you started seeing the momentum going? Like, walk us through that. I'm sure that, made you feel really awesome.
It made me feel, honestly, it took me a while to like sit down and like really comprehend what was going on. Just because like I was trying to retweet everyone's pictures and get them seen and get them out there and, have everyone connect and network. And then I think after, I don't know, a few hundred retweets, I was like, wait, like, I'm showing what's out there. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how to put it in words. I felt really good. I felt really shocked. I felt really happy. I was learning about positions I didn't even know about, different types of technologies, from all over the world too. So I don't know. I think I just felt like shocked and happy at the same time. I don't know.
So you said a couple things that I want to speak on. So you said that you learned about a lot of positions and stuff that you didn't know about, and that a lot of them were around the world. Talk about some of because a lot of people, when they just think tech, they just think developer. Right. So I'm sure that if you had that experience, there's other people who will probably have a similar experience if you share. So what are some of the, can you go through some of the different types of positions that some people were talking about and that intrigued you?
Oh God. There were a lot like with the military. I can't remember. I honestly can't even tell you like names of these positions, but there was like technology within the military, um, uh, network engineering. Like I know what that is, but just I don't know. They kind of elaborated on it, and it was just different. Different things with freelancing, cybersecurity. I don't know. I can't name you the positions because there's just so many, but they were just things within those fields of technology that I didn't know existed. And I want to learn more, but I kind of need to wait until this calms down and I have time to really look through it, you know?
Right.
A lot.
Okay. So tell us about you. How did you get into tech? What are you currently doing? And what are your future ambitions?
I got into tech because my 11-year-old brother codes. And so I had talked to his principal and I was like, you know, I keep hearing about coding. Like, what is it? I don't know what it is. And so he told me, and how this is back when Barack Obama was president, and he was like really enforcing how kids should learn to code. So I was like, you know, what is it? And he let me know it. I guess he kind of scared me into it. You know, he was like, you know, you need to learn to code, and we're teaching kids to code because that's just the way the world is going. It's very technology driven. And if you're not a part of that, you're going to get left behind. You're going to get replaced by a machine. And I was like, and at that time also, I was a waxer. I was body waxing. And I literally had clients who weren't coming back because they were getting like laser and electrolysis, which is machines. So I was like, oh my God, like I really am going to get left behind. So I went and applied for a boot camp in Boston. I ended up getting in. I quit my full-time job and I like dedicated all of my time to learning front end of development. And then I kind of just took off from there.
Okay. Okay. So what did you start? What were the technologies that you started on, that you started learning?
It was just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.
Okay.
Then from there, like that, I started learning the frameworks like React, React Native. And then, but that's just kind of where I stayed for now. I'm not full stack yet, but that's where I am now.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, okay. So you've generated a lot of this, a lot of conversation. You know, you have a lot of momentum going. What do you plan on doing going forward with this? Because now you got a lot of eyes on you, and you have, like I said, you have a lot of momentum. So what are you going to do with that?
Well, like I kind of want to call out these companies, these startups. Like I kind of did that on LinkedIn a little earlier. I wrote a post about the tweet that I put out, and you know, all the momentum, like you said, and all the response that I got, just like how I got an overwhelming amount of responses, and I wrote about it on LinkedIn. And I said, you know, companies always complain that they have, you know, a pipeline problem. We can't find brown and black people to fill these roles. Like we don't know where they are. And to me, that's an excuse.
Yeah.
And I've done it before where I've called them out. But now that I actually have this proof, I have the numbers now. So I went and posted that on LinkedIn, you know, calling out recruiters, startups, whatever, all those companies. And I just want to keep that going. I want to break all of the excuses where you cannot find black and brown people to fill these roles, because you can, you just don't want to. And
Exactly.
That's how I feel. And that's that.
Yeah, it's funny because I was actually the night before, you had posted that tweet. I was on the phone with a friend and I was actually like speaking, you know, similar about that. You know, I'm a senior engineer, and I've worked at a lot of companies all across the country. And I was a senior engineer. I was the youngest and the only Black senior engineer at Apple on their mobile apps team. Okay.
Wow.
And that particular contract is where, you know, I experienced the most racism. Right. So it, like, my second day, dude gave me his trash because he thought I was a janitor. Right. So, and it was an engineering complex. So I don't know how I think he was being an asshole. But anyway, we because we're so like dispersed and distributed. Like you said, we're out here, and there's so many jobs that need to be fulfilled. I think the Labor Bureau statistics said by I believe it's 2024 there'll be 1.2 million unfulfilled computer science jobs. And there's only 14 million Black Americans. And I mean, I'm going to speak on just America and then go global in a minute. So even if where Black engineers make up 2% of the engineering population. We're only like a few 100,000. Like if every Black engineer was employed, there would still be like, over 500,000 jobs that are still not fulfilled. So we're out here, but we're dispersed all everywhere. And there's enough unfulfilled positions where, we can easily be the only Black person in that group. And, before social media, we had no way of connecting with each other. And now, and your tweet was evident of it. We have a decentralized way to connect with each other. And I think it's very important, and I want to know your thoughts on this. It's very important that we stay in contact with each other, even if it is just doing something like doing a hangout like right now. Like I don't know how many people we have in the chat, but the chat's going a lot of messages I need to look at. But like just doing stuff like this. Like I would love to do something like this weekly. It is actually something I started with my tech entrepreneur spotlight, but I actually like this format with the hangouts on air, because there's nothing but Black engineers on here. We're all just networking, we're all talking, everybody's saying what's up. There's nothing but positivity and love here, and we can talk about issues. We can create a safe space where we can talk about we had to deal with X, Y, and Z today. Has anybody else had to deal with this? I mean, so what are your thoughts on that? And like, how do you think?
Absolutely. That's what I love that. And I've always wanted that. I have only, like, now I'm in my second position where, once again, I'm the only Black engineer, the only woman engineer. And before that, it was the same thing at my last company, the only black woman in the entire company. Everyone else was a white woman. Right. And of course, I dealt with those triggers, and they would say things to me that I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, by now you should know you shouldn't be saying that to me. And I can't act out, right? Because I don't want to be that Black girl, I don't want to be that ghetto girl. So, I wish there was someone that I could talk to in a time like that where I can kind of vent. So I do love Twitter for that, but I think what I would really utilize is maybe like a Slack channel or a Discord channel, somewhere where it's all Black people. They understand where I'm coming from because they've dealt with it. It's just where I can vent to people who understand me, and they're not going to sit there and question me or judge me or tell me I'm crazy or there's no racism. I don't want that. I need people who understand me, and they're coming from the same place as me.
Absolutely. I feel it. Yeah. I'm more of a Discord than a Slack person, but yeah, I agree. Some definitely decentralized, preferably encrypted means of communication where we can do that. 360 Magnetic Solutions is basically saying, he said a lot of things. Let me go up. Where is it at? He said to me, Jerome Parker, if we're just campaigning to get a job, we're putting ourselves behind the 8 ball all over again. Let me make some clarifications. First of all, I absolutely agree with you. I believe that, the first step is for us to, get the skills. And then the second step is for us to create our own economy. But, at where we're at right now, because we don't have that nexus, that core nexus number of people who are, creating jobs and getting funding and be able to hire other Black engineers. Right now, we need to learn how to code do enough where we can get experience and then, pull our resources together. Because this is actually, I've started several startups. I've sold a couple apps, and I'm, talking to investors right now for one of my startups. And, I typically try to hire, Black engineers. Some of the times I need, I have to outsource to India or what have you. If it's like spur of the moment, I have people offshore, whatever, that I can hit up at this, at the drop of a hat. But typically I like to, work with other Black engineers. And so in order for us to create a common, yes, we need a core amount of people who are going to create these jobs for us. But not everyone, Mark Point, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Not everyone is an entrepreneur. So, getting a job is okay for a lot of people. I mean, I would say, we probably only need like 10% of our engineers to be entrepreneurs for us to, have a impact or whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, but regardless, we still have to be able to make ourselves economically competitive, and that means, working for a job, working at a job, or you don't have to work for the big conglomerates. You can do startup culture or whatnot, or and if you don't want to do that, plenty of people freelance. That's how I got started. I actually have never had a junior or a mid-level position. I started my company when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. And by the time I got to college, then I dropped out of college, and then I was freelancing up until then. And then when I dropped out of college, I decided to start. Well, I was doing fixed bid freelancing. So I meet with the clients. I tell them like $8,000 for this app. It'll take me 6 to 8 weeks, and then we pay by milestone. And then when I got to college, and I dropped out, I decided I wanted to do hourly contracting. Mm-hmm. So I took my first contract as a senior back-end engineer for Dell, working on enterprise rent-a-car. I don't know if anybody's ever used the car share app by Enterprise, but I was one of the engineers who built that app. And that was my first hourly contract. And then from there, I moved out to the Bay because I got a position with Apache Hadoop to do map reduce algorithms for Apache Hadoop, and that would have been in PHP and C++. And then 2 days before I was supposed to move out there, I got a call saying that they only want full-time employees and they're laying off all the contractors. So I actually went out to California with no job, and then I had a contract with the subcontractor I was working with. So I was on what's called paid unassigned time. So I was teaching the other engineers at Taos, different like full stack methodologies. And then I eventually got a contract at a video game startup called Kabam. And if anybody's ever played the Marvel Champion of Heroes games on Android, iOS, that was the company who built that. So I was doing, I actually wasn't doing video game coding. They had a video game forum. They had chat room forums and stuff where the gamers would talk on, and they needed to do a migration to a new version. So I did that. That was a short, I was like 3-month contract. And then from there, that's when I went to Apple. After I left Apple, I went to Sephora. And then from Sephora, I came back to Kentucky, and I do blockchain, full stack web and mobile apps, and I just travel. My base is in Kentucky, but like I'm traveling to Seattle this weekend with me and my business partner. We're going to a hackathon. So I do professional hackathons. I go to conferences a lot, and I code remotely. So that's my story.
What's the time frame with all of that? What's the time frame?
What do you mean?
Like how long? Like how many years have you been doing this? How many years is all that stacked together?
So coding altogether, I started when I was 8. So I have 18 years of total coding experience. And then I started my company when I was 14, which is the same company I run today, J Computer Solutions. And so I've run that for 12 years.
Wow. Wow. See, I think the time frame is really important because I feel like some people listen to that, like me. I'm like, damn, I didn't accomplish that. I mean, that's amazing. So like,
well, here's the thing. Okay, so I started coding in 2000. Git didn't come out to 2005. You know, what was a framework? Like a lot of stuff in my early years of coding, you know, that shit was hard. You know, having to manage all your dependencies and stuff like that. Like if I had the tools that are available now when I started coding, I'd be like way better. Like you guys are gonna like catch up to like my level of experience quickly as far as like building applications. Because I mean, what used to take me like a year to do, I can scaffold up in a week now.
right.
So you know, like when I tell people about my time and stuff, like I mean, it sounds cool to employers, but you know, on you know some personal stuff, it's like I envy y'all. Like I really do. Y'all have a lot. Y'all have so much. Y'all have so many resources now, and
Right.
it's the barrier to entry to get into coding is like so low. And like even like when I first started coding, right? Like if I wanted to buy servers, you know, if I wanted to like there was no cloud infrastructure. You know, if I want to put out a web app, you know, or rather back then a server app, you know, it's still mainframe stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking like tens of thousands of dollars for equipment. And now we can use AWS or DigitalOcean and put out a startup for $5 a month and start making money your first day.
Right.
Yeah.
Technology has evolved. I mean, I don't even know where you came from because I just got here. So people like me, we got it easy. But also like, I guess I'm considered junior since I only started almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, I got you.
It's like really important to know the time frame or your time frame because people like to compare, but it's like you just started, you know, you have time to get there. You have things to learn.
Yeah. So actually, hey Dylan, come say hi. So this is my best friend, Dylan Lee. All right, everybody say hi. He's Asian, but this is my chica though. But he's my first engineer that I had ever hired, you know, for full time work. And he's electrical engineer by trade, and you know, he like
degree, I guess, but
you know, by degree, but you know, like, you know, he started when you start learning code. Like I taught you Laravel like a month before that gig, right?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, I picked it up pretty quick.
Yeah, like he's an example of like when I'm talking about like how fast stuff can happen. Like I'm so proud of this dude, and like you guys, he reminds me of you guys, and you guys remind me of him. Like you don't have to. All it requires is like drive, you know. All it requires is like, hey, I want to do this, and I'm gonna sit down and do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, can you give me ice cream?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, cool.
Yeah. You just learn like a few elementary concepts. Everything else you can learn through tutorials on Google.
Exactly.
It's just
and like once you learn the
projects.
Yeah, personal projects. Yeah. Yes, and like once you learn like the fundamentals of code, changing languages is nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like what are you doing now?
I'm learning Elixir. Well, learning, but I'm pretty good with it now.
Yeah.
Elixir.
Are you still doing React stuff?
If I ever have to touch front end code, yeah.
Yeah.
I do React.
And you do Node? Do you do Node?
Yeah. React, Node. So our current infrastructure is React, Node.js. We're moving our backend to Elixir.
Yeah. So good luck with that. All right.
Oh, it's pretty much just like me and one other person. We've done like 90% of the work. So.
Yeah, but yeah, I appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thanks.
But anyway, all right. So let me look at these comments again. Anybody got any questions? Anybody want to hop in? Like we you know, I'm gonna put in the link, you know, for against my better judgment.
I can't see the questions.
You can't see the questions. You need to. Here you go. That link that I had sent you. Open this. Links. There we go. You get it?
Yeah. I hope this doesn't. Okay, cool.
Oh wait, I think I gave you the wrong. The first link that I sent you on Twitter, where I said, "Oops, that's the watch link." That's the link that's got the questions on it. Yeah, I think I gave you the.
Wait.
Now you see the chat. That's the watch link.
Okay, I need to pause it, and I can mute it. Oh, okay.
Cool,
wow.
Cool. All right, but what what I was gonna say is I need to give out the link, so if anybody wants to join in and ask questions live instead of having to read, because who wants to do that? Well, why don't we do that? All right, let me find the link. I just sounded hella retarded saying that. I just realized. Live now. We want to go to the control room and we want to grab the link. In the meantime, let me try to multitask and actually read a question, so I'm not just sitting here la-di-da-da. And where to go? All right, so we have just put out a tweet for people to know about the live and hop on the video chat. Yeah, why don't I do that? Brandon, turn that Family Guy. All right.
Oh,
Copy.
can I post? I made a Discord channel.
You can post whatever you want.
And okay, cool.
Yes, keep the conversation going. Post whatever you want. All right. So here, if anybody wants to join live and ask Pariss a question, I have just tweeted out the link to actually join the Hangouts, and as many people can join as they want. So this would be interesting. All right, and then let me go ahead and put it in the chat as well. And do you have any projects that you're working on that you want to plug?
Me?
Yeah.
I am working on a project. You know, I don't like to talk about it. I'm very secretive, but when MVP comes out, everyone will know about it.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, while we're waiting on people to join, I'm going to shamelessly plug myself and remind everybody to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, because I will resume my live coding tomorrow and I'm going to be doing some encrypted chat. All right, cool. We got a first person. Remind everybody to hit that subscribe button. Bell, because I might want to hit that pause button. Thank you. All right, cool. You don't have to mute yourself. Just hit the pause button on the video. You need to unmute yourself. You got yourself muted. I can see that you're muted. All right, let me help you out. Hold on. Let me see if I can unmute you. Huh. You're going to have to unmute yourself. It won't let me unmute you. All right, let me help you out. Hold on. All right, now just hit pause on the video. All right. You're going to have to unmute yourself. It won't let me unmute you. All right, let me help you out. Hold on. All right. It's okay. Having a little technical difficulty, but that's fine. That happens when we're live. 360 Magnetic Solutions going ham in the chat room. Everybody Google Prism, NSA surveillance. Yeah, I know about Prism. Even LinkedIn's part of Microsoft. Yeah. I don't like that Microsoft bought GitHub. I feel like they're scraping all that code. But that's a whole nother conspiracy theory video. All right, who we got here?
What's going on, y'all? Mark.
Oh, it's Mark. What's up, Mark?
What's going on, man?
Not much. How you doing? What's your question?
Man, honestly, I just wanted to say that I enjoy this whole process because I think it's quite good how everything came together.
Yep, you froze. Oh, they don't like it. Google's messing with us. They're like, oh man, all these Negroes getting ideas. Oh no. They're gonna COINTELPRO us. Jim Denson, have you done any game dev? Yeah, I actually do live game tutorials. I was actually thinking about doing one on Wednesday this week. We're gonna wait for Mark for a little bit. Is he back? Oh. All right, who we got here now? We got multiple people coming on. It's about to start getting interesting.
All right. I don't know if this is. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sick. Okay, so I paused that other one. I got that. I just want to ask the question: how do you think is the best way for us to get something done? All over the world right now, and that's great. But man, we're behind the ball here. We've got to get some shit done quickly, and quick wins or pick a program and a plan and go with it, and have people say, okay, I got this part, I got that part, or whatever. How do we do that? How do we organize that?
Well, that's actually will take. I would answer that question by taking the hackathon approach. Like we can all be. Let me show that. We can all. There's nothing stopping us from getting together for a weekend, doing something like this, and we spend an hour brainstorming. Okay, cool. We came up with an idea. All right, now for the next 24 hours, we can just code this stuff live. Like we can just do it. Or even if it's not live, like if we want to do it on a Discord channel and we have to do like a giant audio call or whatever, but whatever it is, there should definitely be times where we're together, building it. Like, because otherwise, if we're just distributed talking about it, but we're not actually, there's not any point where we're on the phone or on a call, we're doing some extreme coding together, nothing's going to get done, or it's going to get done at a slow crawl pace. Like the reason why, like this hackathon I'm going to on Saturday, it's a $10,000 prize. The reason that they're paying $10,000 is because they know that you got teams of 3 to 5 people building products that might take another team 3 to 6 months in a regular office environment. And yeah, they'll give you $10,000 for one day's worth of work that they would have to pay for a team of 5 engineers for 3 months, $75,000 to build the same thing. And yours is probably better because it's just something about if you study was it noetics? I think noetics is the term. We can measure brainwave frequencies, right? And it's been proven that when multiple people think about focus on the same thought, that frequency level, that energy level is not linearly scaled, it's exponentially scaled. So when we come together, if we come together and we do stuff, that energy is going to be exponentially more powerful than if we're individually just doing it and away from each other.
Right. And I want to add to that, like even doing your own thing we're talking about technology. So even if you're building your own project in tech, you have your own team, the purpose is, I hope, is for the greater good of your people. Like if one of us wins, we all win. And that's how I look at it. If I build an app and it takes off, I'm doing that so that now, I have this product, I have the financial stability, I have the power to give positions to people of color. That's just kind of how you got to look at it. That no matter what you're doing it for the greater good. There's a bigger purpose to it. And for me personally, that's to contribute back to my own people, my own community, and to see us all take off and thrive.
Right. Absolutely. Mark, you cut out on us.
Yeah, my fault. My laptop froze up.
All good.
But yeah, I just pretty much echoing the point of appreciating just all of this coming together, because I think it almost shocked me how viral it kind of went once it started. It built its own momentum, and you're meeting other people from around the world. Even come to find out, people in my own neighborhood, not too far, that code that I didn't even know. I mean, granted, I'm in New York City, so it's a little bit larger place that you may not run into folks, but I think it was just really awesome to see this all come together. I'd like to your point, like to see us maybe even attempt like these large scale open source projects. I know for a lot of folks who are trying to get their feet in the game or kind of get going a little bit, open source projects really give you a chance to really kind of test your knowledge in addition to learning about another software stack that you may not have never known. And it's just giving you some just experience. I did that when I was first starting on, and it really helped me a lot. And I think it'd be really nice if, like you said, if there was this like idea that we all came up with and we just determined like on a Saturday or I don't know, at some time in the future, we come together at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. and let's just start working on each aspect of it. Everybody has their own discipline. Some folks are mobile, some folks are back end, some folks are front end, and everyone just take it and run with it.
Right. And you know what? Now that we're talking about this and doing this, I would feel like a good idea is that, you know, we all want a place for each other because we don't have that in the workplace. You know, why couldn't we build a very large platform of, you know, for Black people that are in all different industries? Like it could be tech, fashion, whatever, you know, it's a platform just for us. I think that would be a great project because we're contributing to our people in both ways, you know?
Right.
Oh, there's someone else.
Yeah, we got someone new. My mom wants to say hi. Everyone say hi to my mom.
Hi. You guys look alike.
We look alike.
Yes.
That's funny. Excellent.
I'm happy to see all of you all on here. I'm proud of my baby. Proud of all of you.
Awesome.
All right. So who we got here? Now my mom don't embarrass me in front of all Twitter.
Okay, why not?
I can hear you.
We can hear you. What's up, bro?
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you live. Come on.
Yeah. Wait a moment.
Yo, that's
So,
fun.
while we're waiting on that, does anybody have is it fair to share like what are some resources? What are you guys learning? Where do you go to learn? What are you using to learn? Let's share some of that info.
Okay. So I'm real big into hacking, I'm real big into hacking. So I spend a lot of my time on Tor in the dark web. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
Anonymous, here we go.
I honestly utilize Twitter. Twitter updates me on everything. All the new, frameworks, languages, updates, and I don't know, Twitter.
That's what's up. Any specific like courses folks know of, whether they be like Udemy courses, online courses, great instructors, things that can help some of the audience?
I don't have a course, but I have some sites that are still up that I use that, like how I taught myself C++ and PHP was through hackthisSite.org, which is still up actually. It goes from everything from, and this is actually how I learned web development actually, was through hackthisSite.org, because it takes you through different, actually, I'm gonna do a screen share. Everybody who's on here can screen share, by the way. Let's go ahead and share. You talking about share resources, let's share resources. Let me figure out, I just had it.
I have a question for Pariss, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So Pariss, did you have in mind, I know this is all kind of spontaneous, you've done so much work, so thank you for that. But have you thought about recording in any way what we have on Twitter to LinkedIn or to Instagram so that people can connect in their city or online, or backup is is everything. Sometimes you just need to see another face. And it's like, I'm new to Detroit. I've only been here for 3.5 months. So it'd be nice to know some Black folks who do some tech stuff here in Detroit. So did you like, is there any way that we can like right now start the process? I mean, you did this in like a day and a half. So is there anything that we can do in the next 2 days or a week, worst case scenario, on LinkedIn or on, I don't know, Facebook, I don't know, wherever people are, Slack, whatever?
Yeah. So I think the best approach would be like something like a bot. Like we've been talking about that, just making a bot that would kind of go through and pick out different things. I'm just trying to think about how I can approach that. I'm definitely going to need help with that. But then there's like the simple way of kind of just saying, hey, what's your, everyone give us your LinkedIn, just writing another thread, something really simple like that. But then that's not guaranteed that you're going to get every single person from that thread to give you their LinkedIn, or even if they have one. Some people don't have one.
So is there maybe, I don't know if LinkedIn has groups. What if there was yeah, so if there's groups, you create like a Black Tech Twitter group and everybody joins that group and you do it that way?
See, I don't know LinkedIn too well. I didn't know they had groups. Like I
love LinkedIn. I love it. So yes, they have groups, but even more powerful than a group, or just as powerful as a group, is if you actually connect to each other. So if you say, if in the next week, because I don't open up my network to just any and everybody, right? Because a lot of people selling stuff on there and you don't know who's who and whatever. But man, if you are Black and you hit me up in the next 48 hours, I'm gonna say yes. I don't know you from Adam, but I'm gonna add you. So I already have like almost 1,000 people in my network, and some of them are people who, Detroit Black tech folks who organize the after tech that's here, and folks, private dinners and all kinds of stuff. So I mean, there are groups. We can establish a group, and that might be a way to correspond with each other in a very professional way. But you can also say, in the next 48 hours, hit me up on LinkedIn and I will add you. End of story.
So the point of the group, when I mentioned the group was just to get everybody in the same place. And then once everybody's in the same place, then now you have a roster to go click connect and, do those sort of things. That's the only reason I mentioned that, not to make it to where that people don't actually connect, but they just happen to share the same group, because that might not have the same effect. Mm-hmm. But I certainly agree, like having that time frame that says, hey, for the next, we did something very similar. There's this Slack channel called Blacks in Technology. And we did something very similar where we just did a thread called post your LinkedIn here, and I'm following you, you follow, or we connect and I connect with you back. And that was very similar to what happened with this Black Tech Twitter thread.
Absolutely.
So.
I like the idea of a Slack channel. I mean, I poo-pooed it at first. I'll be honest. I'm like in 100. Too many.
Yeah, all of us are.
But the thing about LinkedIn is that we're talking about getting a job. We're talking about opportunities. We're talking about hooking each other up. Who do you know? Because sometimes it's who you know as opposed to what you know. And so LinkedIn really does that, as opposed to being an insular group that doesn't really, its function is not to reach out. So if people see that you are connected to XYZ on LinkedIn, then they're like, oh, okay, that's something.
Absolutely. Synergy networks.
Yeah, I how to go about that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, whether, like I said, whether it's Slack or Discord or shit, if you guys want, I'll write an app for us. I can write an encrypted chat app and a distributed app just for us, so we can do it that way. I don't care. But whatever we decide to do, Yeah, we should definitely do it because, you know, like for example, right? Like in addition to a programmer, I'm also an investor. Like I look for Black projects to throw money into. So if I had a group of nothing but intelligent engineers who I know have good ideas, you know, I'll be much more inclined to pick from that group versus, you know, just anybody random on the internet or whatnot. So, I mean, if you guys want me to do that, I'll do that. It'll take me. I'll do that tonight.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What people want. I made a Discord and I linked it in the chat. But when we were talking about it on Twitter, a lot of people were like, I don't want another Slack. I don't want Discord. So it's really your preference. If you want to, you know, go to the Discord, then go for it. Or, you know, if you want something encrypted, we could do that. It's kind of, what do you guys want, really? What do you guys want to respond to?
I don't know. We got two more. I didn't even see we got two more people joining.
Yes,
I don't know.
sir.
I mean, it's an evolving conversation. We don't have to make a decision right now, but just like having this conversation will. Yeah. But I think we should have something solidified before the first. You know, I think, you know, December 2nd. We got like 30 days, like 29 days.
Wait, 1st of January?
Nah, man, that's too far.
That's too far. I'm saying that at the maximum, we should have everything set up no later than January 1st. At the maximum. Well, I don't see why we can't get it done before Christmas. like I definitely don't.
How many people did you just add in the last day and a half? Like it's hundreds. It was
right.
hundreds.
I mean, look. That's like my project management experience. I always like to buffer in time. You know how shit happens. All right, but anywho, who are the how many people joined just now? Wait a minute, we got one Asante, Jay, Just, yeah. All right, everybody who goes, somebody introduce yourself.
All right.
Yep. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Asante.
Okay. Yep. So I'm trying to get some lighting in here and everything set up for you guys, but I'm Asante. I mean, I don't know what you guys want to know.
Long walks on the beach.
Long walks on the beach. So I'm a cybersecurity analyst for the government. I was military. I was an IT specialist in there. Got out, started doing different IT jobs. I have a passion for programming. That's what I've been doing. I focus on more back end. I'm not really a front end type of person, but I do know that's something that I want to learn. But as of right now, I'm doing a lot of Golang programming and web app pen testing specifically. And yes, I like long walks on the beach as well.
Funny. So are you over in like the DC, Virginia area?
Yes, sir. I am in specifically Loring, Virginia. It's like 10 minutes away from DC. My wife is military as well. She's an IT. She's at Fort Belvoir, so that's where we're hanging out at for.
Man, they keep trying to get me to move out there.
It's not bad, sir. It's not bad.
I don't know. I ain't trying to stumble on some shit and end up having to go live in Russia for the rest of my life.
Russia.
Or pen testing, be like some Edward Snowden stuff. Anyway,
yeah, you shouldn't. I don't know. I can't speak on that. I won't speak on that.
Please don't. Oh goodness. Okay, cool. Do you have a question for Pariss, or do you just want to have it? You know, something general you want to say?
No. I'm just honestly, I was just waiting for someone to spitball a project idea so we can get to work on it. That's about it. I'm not saying I don't need a job. I'm definitely open to a new opportunity, but I just want to practice and learn some more. So that's really it. Let me see if this will. I just broke my glasses today, so okay. Is that bad quality? I don't know.
No, we can see you.
Okay.
You're black and breathing. That's all that matters. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Like we need to take notes.
Well, I mean, all this is recorded. It's gonna be on my YouTube channel, so go back. I'm definitely gonna go back and rewatch it. All right, is it Justin, or it just says Just on the?
Oh yeah. So it's Just Days. Follow me on Twitter at Just Days. But my name is Tyler Hunter.
He was smooth with the plug.
You just slid
The persona, man. You gotta get into it, man. You gotta get into it. So, I'm a full stack web developer. I'm in Atlanta. Full stack. I'm in the MERN stack. So that's Mode. That's Express, React, Node. Yeah, I did that at Georgia Tech. I did a boot camp. So that was a year ago. I did that in May. So on the side, just been doing projects, been doing freelancing. Any Node, JavaScript apps. That's what I go to. Then I took an intro to self-driving cars course with Udacity, and that's been taking off well. So because I already work for an automotive company here in Atlanta, so I'm just really focused on mobility solutions, autonomous driving, like futuristic shit. And then also, I do blockchain development as well. So, I got a blockchain app, web app out there now. I just think it's dope what Pariss did. Black tech Twitter is like super deep. It's always been deep for real. Like even like before Twitter, like just Black people on the web, it's been deep. So yeah, I'm just here with the movement, man.
Yeah, man. Dripped in, young nigga. I see you. Man, I love having conversations with Black coders, dog. Like, oh my gosh, I can just be me. I don't have to be all like, yes, Mr. Smith. And here is the runtime analysis. And as you can see, we have this concurrent microservice. I'm gonna be like, look, nigga, it worked. Come on. Oh man.
Authenticity that you gotta have like with your people. You don't have that with other people.
Yeah, man. You rocking the do-rag, man. Yeah, I love it. Apple sent me home one day, bro. I walked in straight up with the do-rag with a black and mild behind my ear. They're like, oh man, thugging. All right, cool. Who else? Rajul, is your
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Do you listen to me? Okay. Sorry for my English. I'm from a French-speaking country. I'm from Congo in Africa, and I saw the hashtag on Twitter. I was interested, and I joined the Hangout. So my English is a little bit lower, and I'll speak very, very fast. So, okay. I'm a web developer. I used to develop 7 years already. I'm working as a web developer consultant in my country. That I'm interested, and I hope I would exchange with people and learn more. And so that's why here I am.
Awesome. Welcome.
Yeah. Nice talking.
Cool. I went ahead and started. I modded a couple people up. So if you see in the chat, you got a little wrench next to you because I modded you up. We'll start doing this every day. Or not every day. Let's start doing this every week, man. This is awesome. Honestly, I didn't expect it to be, what it is.
This is crazy. Because it's all over the world.
Yeah, like fucking crazy.
Wow.
I think that's the first idea that we've come up with that we all unanimously agree on is that we should do this again. And even every week, I'm a part of Twitter chats that happen every month. And so to do something with 10 people in a Google Hangout every month would be, that's a step, right? Like if we just commit to that. So this is Sunday. So the first Sunday of every month and just take it from there. That's not a huge commitment. I think it's a great way to meet more people. Like if you've not been in the Hangout and you can see who was in the last one, then, or if you've been in one or not, then it's your turn. It's just your turn. And if Pariss added hundreds of people today, we've got a good year to go. Like we've got the year on lock. So I think that we should commit to that. I think we should have a graphic that announces that. I don't know if there's a Twitter page for that where you can add everybody who's like people of color chat and the Black Texan chat. There's so many groups already established. They should be added to a Twitter handle and say and just have a graphic on there. And I put my hand up for that one. That's easy. Is to make just a really sick graphic that goes on there and goes out like maybe once a week or something like that. However often you want to do it, you can auto schedule that on Hootsuite, and say, hey, we're gonna do a Google Hangout first Sunday of every month for the next year. Well, we're gonna give it a year. If you haven't been in it, come on in. Send a DM to whoever is the moderator. Done. Like let's not overthink this thing. Let's just keep it moving. Like, you created a Google Doc. That's one thing. Okay, what's the next thing? Like, I'll just say this for everybody. I'll just say for anybody who's watching, if you add me in the next 7 days on LinkedIn, I don't know you from Adam. I will add you to my LinkedIn. So if you send me an invitation to Ingrid G. Green on LinkedIn, it's done. It's done. 7 days. You got, it's like go. You got 7 days, and that's all I got so far. If there are other cool ideas, like we talked about conferences, I am tired of seeing only white people on the dais at a conference that I go to. And there are some really cool, like South by Southwest or whatever, like any major conference. And finding the organizers for these conferences is not hard. It's not hard. And to go, hey, I would like to put my hand up to say, let's talk about this topic, or I'm an expert on that topic, or just hit them up. Just hit them up and find them and be like, so we're over here. Would you like to invite any of us and pay for our flight and our hotel and our food for 4 days?
Right.
And be visible. Be visible. We're here. So, like, there's a lot of external stuff that I think we should do and a lot of internal stuff that I think we should do. I think that the Hangout is for us. I think that the LinkedIn serves both internal and external. People see who we know and people see who we're connected to, but we also start to get connected to each other in various cities around the world. I can go just about anywhere and have a lunch with somebody who is in Black Twitter tech, period.
Exactly.
I think to add on to the piece that you said about conferences, there are actually a couple of conferences out there that are always looking for either first-time speakers or diverse speakers. Sometimes the problem is they're looking for the people, but the people aren't ready. See, it's one thing to go to a conference. It's another to like give a talk and prepare and know how to put together your call for papers. And so I think the other perspective is if there's anyone in the group that has given talks and knows how to coach people to give their first talk, I think that would be a better approach, because there's like, I know there was one conference I went to last year called Codeland here in NYC, run by Saran. She also runs like Code Newbies and a whole bunch. Like, that was one of the most well thought of inclusive conferences that I have been to. And they're constantly looking for folks to come and apply, especially folks of color and new folks. But like, sometimes it's like, man, that'd be cool. I want to give a talk, but you don't even know where to start. So like, if there could be some coaching on like, how do I put together my presentation? Are there people here to maybe hear my talk and give me some pointers on how I can make it a little bit more interactive? Those are the type of things that would help prepare us so that when these opportunities do come, because they do in fact exist, we would be ready to seize them when that time comes. So.
And that goes for anything. It doesn't even have to be conferences. Like, we should all be mentors and mentees to one another. You need to utilize your network, but especially the Black network, because these people, we're all, we're Black. We get it. We you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So just utilize what you have, which is us, and we all have.
I think we could be a little bit more organized about it in that we can say every second week maybe is Black Twitter tech, either a pitch day or presentation day, and just alternate from month to month. So 10 people we could do like a pachakacha where you have 5 minutes to speak, and it's practice. It's practice. Get good at it. Let's go. You got 5 minutes. We got 10 people. We got an hour. Or 2 hours, let's say. Get good at it. And this is your job as a judge, whether you went to Toastmasters or you've been on stage or you're really good, you've been to 100 conferences and you know what is going to be engaging for you or what you want to hear. So, but the organized way of doing it is to say, we're going to have this every 2 weeks. So maybe once a month, it's just a chat. Once a month, it's a pitch or presentation day. So if you have a conference coming up, you're getting ready, we're here for you. Pitch, let's go. Or if you're putting together a company and you want to know if it's a bad idea or you have certain questions, a focus group type of thing that you want to ask, we're right here for you. Right. So get in where you fit in. And as far as people don't, I mean, if people don't put in their profile photo or they don't get in or whatever, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, how many people followed you today? It was hundreds, right? Hundreds of people want to get in. So I'm only concerned with helping those who want to get in and just move with that. I'm not trying to add numbers or make things bigger or whatever. Just organize. Say every second.
I will echo your point, just on that. And I also say that, there are a lot of like cliques out here in the tech community. And when I mean cliques, like they just like to get together. They don't like to really put in the work for real, and that's like the type of person I am. Like, send me a GitHub profile. Like, let's start a repo. Like, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get it started. Let's go ahead and like just be lean like that and just be agile and build from there. Because that's how real work is done. I write a lot of things on Medium about different apps that are real. Like just lean, like just agile, and just going out there and just starting from nothing and building. So I'm with that.
For sure. All right. So we have been talking about a lot. Let me go through this chat and see what people are talking about. If there's been any questions. Yeah. There's just a lot of comments. Okay, cool. So does anybody have any questions in the chat before we head on to the next? We're going to pivot on to the next topic. And while I'm going ahead and got everybody share this on Twitter right now. Like right now, where we're not talking about nothing. Go ahead and hit that share button and do hashtag Black Tech Twitter and whatever. Let's get people in here. Like, this is lit. I love this. What's the link? I want to talk to Pariss.
I'm about to link the Discord on Twitter so that everyone can see it. I already put it in the chat.
Okay. I think he wanted to come on the Hangouts. Hold on one second. Yeah, invite people. All right. So here's the link, and there you go. And let's see how many people we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we only have room for 3 more people. And then after that, if more people want to come on, then we're gonna have to start, rotating people in and out. But all right, room for 3 more people. And then after that, if more people want to come on, then we're gonna have to start, rotating people in and out. All right, can you pause that? Room for 3 more people. And then after that, if more people. There you go. What's up?
Poppin', how y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, for sure. Yeah, I know y'all was introducing yourselves. So my name is Madala from Detroit, Michigan. They call me Dala for short. I'm an iOS engineer. I initially went to school for bio, but I had failed out of school. And I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then my boy was like, I was like, come try this tech shit. And I was like, all right, bet. So then I started learning on my own, and I moved out of my mama house. And I got a little air mattress. I was living in the basement of my boy crib for like 4 months, bro. And then I got an internship, and I was still on the air mattress for a good little minute. And then I got a full-time offer as an iOS full-time engineer. So I just want to say Especially Pariss. Thank you, appreciate it. But especially Pariss, like all this happened within like the span of from January to like around the summertime. So I got a contract to do like engineering for like some clients, and then I got the internship, then I got the full-time position. But to Pariss specifically, thank you for pushing it. I know y'all probably seen my tweet about like Black Tech Twitter and all that stuff. I want to say thank you because you are inspiring people for real out here. People in my DMs like, yo, I'm trying to be like her. And people in my DMs like, yo, like, how do I do this tech shit? Like, y'all got to inspire people for real. Y'all got power. And this shit is moving for real.
That feels so good. Like a lot of people, I feel like when I tell a lot of people to get into coding, specifically Black people, like I know a lot of Black people like want to be like, you know, sports stars, rappers, and that's fine. You know, we're creative people. That's what it is. But when I tell them, you know, you should try and get into tech, I think they feel like, you know, they're abandoning their dreams almost. And I'm not saying that. I feel like we're very talented people. We have tons of skills outside of just tech. But it's okay to, like I said before, it's okay to leverage your plan B to get to your plan A, you know? And it's really hard to get anywhere without financial stability. And I feel like, you know, we're in an industry that already lacks people of color, you know, utilize that, get that skill so that you're not left behind, you know, get into a good position, make your money, and take all of that financial stability and your network and everything, you know, you learned and gained, and utilize that to go back to your plan A, to do what it is you originally wanted to do. That's like what I really push for. That's my goal. And
And to your point, I had tweeted earlier, it was a couple of days ago, I tweeted like they told us to rap and play ball, but I decided to code. Like, I believe that so much. So I want to say thank you personally, and let's keep on pushing this shit. I like what y'all talking about too, like the meetings every 2 weeks.
To even echo that point even more, I do believe that tech is the ultimate equalizer. Like, gives people a seat at the table that otherwise you would never have a seat at.
It's democratized free speech.
It really is. And like the things that you can learn, I think what attracted me to programming in general was just this ability to be a creator. You can take
the power. It's such a say with its power.
It is like you can take something that was just a thought and make it tangible. I mean, that's
programming is the closest thing. Being a programmer is the closest thing to being a god. Like a computer is a universe. Like you have the ultimate power of creation and destruction.
Exactly. Right. You see, art, people don't know this, but art can be technical.
Yes.
People think it's painting and all, drawing, whatever. It's not. Like you can take tech and bring your idea to life.
Right.
You're still using your creativity. You're still utilizing your gift, you know, and you're not putting anything aside, just using it in a different form.
And the gift, the even more, the beautiful piece about it is the gift knows no bounds. It knows no limits, right? The gift is international. You can create an application that you might have created in Detroit and it's being used in Uganda, or it's being used in Brazil, or it's being used in, so like it truly is almost, you know, how folks talk about music being this universal language. No matter where you go, if we don't speak the same language, we could speak through music. We could do the same thing through tech and through code, because it really is the one way to take an idea and actually make it useful, that can either save lives, whether it be an application that helps people save money or an application that connects people. Like, it really is a very powerful thing. And so the more we can share our point of views, the better the whole community will be. I was at this meetup once, and I made this example of, I talked about the idea of being a slice of pizza. And the point that I was trying to make with that is that sometimes you can go to the grocery store and you could buy a whole lot of groceries, and you buy like some milk, some bread, and all these type of things. And sometimes you could spend like all this money in groceries, get home and be like, man, there's nothing to eat here, even though you just spent a whole lot of money in buying groceries. And then there are those times where, regardless of the fact that you have a house full of food, you just want a slice of pizza. Like, no matter what, like, I got all this food here, but I just really want pizza. And I take that same example and I relate that to everyone that's on this call, because everyone is a slice of pizza in their own right, regardless of who has a YouTube channel doing JavaScript or who has a YouTube channel doing web. Sometimes somebody just wants to hear your perspective because there's something about you that resonates with them. So don't take the be encouraged in the idea of sharing your voice, because sometimes in a house full of food, you just want a slice of pizza. And I genuinely believe that.
Yeah.
I agree.
I had a question from, where's it at? Andrew McLeod. Andrew McLeod asks, what should I do to make sure I can effectively reach and hire people from Black Tech Twitter?
Effectively
reach and hire people.
People are posting in there. Just to me, I feel like just directly reach out to them. Just hey, I saw you wrote in this thread. I'm interested in speaking to you. I have a position open. Like there's no rules. If you want to talk to someone, just talk to them.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel.
Yeah, pretty much the same way.
Yeah, there's no way around it when you're dealing with Black Tech Twitter. Just be done.
Yeah.
You don't have to be all, I don't know.
Low proper.
Okay.
Like they can start from anywhere, man. Like you can just hit somebody up. We can start with the DM. Then you can be like, yo, shoot me your resume. Hit me on LinkedIn. It's easy. There's no barriers. There's no barriers to entry. That's why I love tech. It's no barriers.
Yeah. Speaking of no barriers to entry, Crypto Gal, I don't like what you're saying. You're saying that you feel like you're too old to code because you hit your 40s. So I've met multiple, and all of them were women who went to code camps in their 50s or 60s, and they're engineers now working. So I don't want to hear that.
Age is no limit.
Age is just a number. Age is just a number. You can be a floating brain in a vat somewhere, and they can probably hook your brain up and you can code. So that don't. Code Lisa, do we just type the questions in here? You can, or if you want to jump on the call, you can jump on the call. Let's see. More to establish place of communication. Tyler Hunter said there should be essential Black Tech Twitter.list. Each person in the list should have their own website and bio. You know what? I'm gonna go to Namecheap. I'm gonna go to Namecheap right the fuck now. Namecheap.com.
Shout out to Namecheap.
Yeah. just so y'all know I ain't bullshitting. Just so y'all know I'm not bullshitting. Here you go. All right, let's look this up. All right. blacktech.twitter.com. 1099. Go ahead and pull this bitch out. All right, blacktech.twitter.com. Add to cart.
Buying domains already.
What's going on? Hurry up.
What? I have a question that,
Go ahead.
People a little uncomfortable, but I want to know. So when I posted that thread, I had a lot of people message me who were afraid to post their picture and, talk about themselves because they're very light-skinned. They're very fair, but they are Black. They're like half Black, or they are Black, but they're very fair. And they're like, am I allowed to do this? I'm like, so like, what do you guys think about that?
Light skin always been winning. What you talking about?
Oh God! Oh, the nigga went straight for the jugular.
Hey, hold on.
He said,
Nah, it's not that serious. I don't think it should be that serious, but
no, I definitely shouldn't. No. That's more of a general societal question. It is really a tech thing. Colorism is stupid.
If you identify as Black, bro.
Yeah, I mean, look, you have Aboriginal Africans in the heart of Africa who have had little if any European influence, and they still have blue eyes and blonde hair. Like we have the full range of genetics. Who cares? Like, do you identify as black? Do you have black phenotypes, and then do you self-identify as black? That's all I care about.
I mean, we'll even take Rachel Dolezal. I don't know if y'all remember her.
Shit. Well, we might disagree there, but okay. Okay, it's saying that when I put in blacktech.twitter.com, now look at this shit. I'm telling you, they fucking with us. Hold up. This they're like y'all niggas getting too many ideas. Hold up, look at this shit. Tell me if you ever seen it. Anybody who's ever used Namecheap, have you ever seen this? All right, can y'all see my screen?
Yep.
All right, add to cart. This domain contains restricted phrases and can't be self-registered. Please contact our support to see if we can register for you manually. I ain't never in my life seen that shit.
Seen that.
Is it Twitter in here?
Well, the Twitter piece.
Is it because it says Twitter?
Yeah.
Because I made because I can do like twitterbotsrus.com. I bet you that would come up.
Why people be moving so fast?
Oh wow.
Oh, maybe it was.
No, I think it's the Twitter piece.
All right, black. Well, damn it. All right. Well,
so what about TWTR instead of like?
Yeah, black.
Let's move this right here. You gotta introduce yourself.
Like that.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't read as well, but
yeah, I would just wait.
Yeah, I'll wait.
We should brainstorm more on that before.
That pissed me off. All right.
I never heard of that though.
Yeah. They fucking with us. Anyway. Well, there was something I was gonna say, and I had a brain fart. Namecheap don't want to let's be great.
That's what I'm supposed to be doing.
I'm still tripping. There's some people on the black tech with are. Mecca JDI. I'm still tripping that so many people on the black tech twist are women, though. I guess I just expect to be mostly black men, but I'm pleasantly surprised. I watch shit. Why? That's never been on from an anecdotal standpoint. For me personally, anytime I've ever seen another black engineer, it was like almost all but one time it was a woman. Like there's way more
women in tech.
There's way more women in tech.
Yeah. I think they're just more open to it as well, though, really. I think they're just more, because when I was growing up and just talking to people, especially where I'm from, and people just don't, computers just not a thing.
Shit. My bad.
Dropping stuff. Yeah, computers is just not a thing.
That Taylor? I want to say hi.
Hi. It's so nice to finally like meet you, Pariss. Oh my god.
I know.
Like everybody.
I'm so happy to see you, everybody, but especially Taylor. She's the reason I got on Twitter.
Wow.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wait, the Taylor.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's so you just a superstar. Okay.
Thanks, Taylor. Wow. I'm so glad to see you like rise and you're helping like everybody else. Like that's such goals. Like that's exactly like why I think like a lot of us are like on Twitter. Like when I started on Twitter, it was to like just document like my progress, like learning how to code. And then it's just like I realized that like there were other people that were like joining in and like also like supporting and everything. And so like yesterday, like when I saw like Black Twitter tech like go viral, I was like, yes, like this is everything. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
This is awesome.
Taylor, you're the individual that said, unfortunately, you were only the second woman to speak in Seattle. Like at a conference, that's good. That's not unfortunate.
Well, okay, this is the thing. I'm gonna tell you something. The thing is that I was speaking at Cascade JS, which is the biggest JavaScript conference like in the PNW or Pacific Northwest. And they had to, one of the people that I knew that actually got me, you know, the chance to speak at the conference, he had to fight hard for the other Black girl, you know, to speak at the conference because she was actually going to give like a technical talk on like like web VR, like which she ended up doing and everything. But it's just like, as much as like a lot of these conferences like want to talk about how diverse and inclusive they are, there's still like the gatekeepers who are in charge of like, you know, choosing like who gets to talk and everything. And so I think that, you know, creating like our own like spaces and platforms, like where we have like our own voice and everything, that's so important, because instead of just like always like trying to like fight for like, you know, to gain access like to those spaces. I mean, I'm also like, I'm still supportive of people like, you know, trying to get access to those things too, because like you know, you can like reach like all different kind of people, but you know, what Pariss is talking about, like creating like online platforms and everything like that, that is something I can also stand behind.
Yeah, I think we should, like everyone's talking about, you guys want an open source project and something that we can all contribute like to one essential thing. But for me, I feel like because we all want this one platform, then why not build it? You know, that can be what we contribute to, is building that platform for us.
That is a very solid point.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I like that.
It can be the next FUBU.
Well, I don't have any skills to build it, but I have skills to promote. So I will help get the word out and put it on LinkedIn and Instagram and wherever you guys. I'm not a coder. So Drones for Girls is completely. I'm not a drone pilot. I'll just put that out there right now. I have a friend who is a drone pilot, and I just believe that girls should see themselves in the future, and I want to give them that chance to do that. And $300 an hour is a sick part-time job. So, I'm not a techie person in the sense of the tech skills to code, but I sure as heck want to promote it. And telling stories and telling your stories and promoting each of you and encouraging each of you is definitely something I want to be about. So before I go, because I do have to go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post on Twitter my LinkedIn. And I'm going to put it as in my profile, in my bio, so that it's there for a week starting 7 o'clock Eastern. So it's 6:45 right now. So I'm going to shut it down a week from today. And everybody who's black hits me up on that thing, on my LinkedIn bio for the next week. That is my also small contribution. And whenever you have a platform that you would like to promote, or whatever it is, I mean, I have a crowdfunding campaign coming up, but if somebody needs help with their crowdfunding campaign, I'm all over that. I'm all about that. Speaking, Toastmasters, whatever it is, I'm here for that. So I will put it in the bio. Ingridium is my handle on Twitter. And so it'll be there. Click the LinkedIn, just say hi, Black Twitter. That's all you have to do, is put the handle, and I'll know that it's somebody from Black Twitter. And that's great. That's great. You guys keep doing this, like seriously, and don't wait. Like don't slow down. It's the end of the year, and let's get some stuff done before this year is over. Yeah. Let's not wait for January. Let's do what we can and not beat ourselves up about it. But, take a step and do what you can. All right. Thanks for doing this. I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Appreciate you coming on. Thank you. So a couple of us have talked about our origins and how we got into code, but for everyone else who hasn't, I would like to know, how you guys got into code. Like, what was the circumstance that made you get into code?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Pariss and Dala spoke.
So, for me, I had always kind of enjoyed code. Well, I take that back. I hated coding in college. I absolutely hated it. And I think I only hated it because I had bad professors teaching it. And then I finally decided after a while that I wanted to kind of get back into it. And I bought a Udemy course. and I decided to teach myself. I first started with web, just because that seemed, when I was doing my research, that seemed like the path that was going to get me a job the quickest. And so I started learning a little bit of that. And then I got to a point where after learning for about a year or two, I started working on some side projects, and I decided, well, this whole coding thing is better than just a part-time gig. Like, it could really be a full-time gig. And so I finally decided, after kind of working through iOS for a while, at the time I was in Orlando, Florida, and I wanted to make a difference and a change. So I figured I had to make a bold move. So I sold my house, packed up my family, and moved up to New York City, and decided that if I was going to, really trust this thing to really make it happen, that I had to take the risk. I couldn't just kind of wishy-washy with it. And so I did that, moved up. A lot of folks said it was crazy because NYC is a very expensive place to live. I was kind of already set, and it ended up working out for me. And it was something that till this day, I'm happy I made that decision. So I've been working on iOS since then. Absolutely love the platform. It's given me some opportunities to travel abroad and teach programming abroad. And that was pretty much it for me.
All right. What about you, Asante? How do you say your name?
Asante, you right.
All right, cool. I don't want to say it wrong. I hate when you say my name wrong.
I guess I really got into it more when when I was around 12. I was just trying to find hacks for video games because I was tired of losing in them and stuff. So it started with me kind of using other people's stuff, and then I was like, they're not, I want max health too and stuff like that. So then I had to learn how to make stuff on my own. Mm-hmm. And when I started doing that, it was kind of like just kind of hacking, putting stuff together, reading different threads, trying to match stuff together. And then eventually I got more into web application development and trying to get building my own websites and websites for others just to make side money and stuff when I was going through high school and everything and all this other stuff. And I just kept with it after that. And I kind of still do it just for, I'm not going to say it's just for fun, really. I just do it for fun. I still have a full-time job. And to be honest, I've never had any struggles or anything. I just like coding and learning and tech.
Alyssa, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Cool. How about you?
I guess I got to do an introduction. Do I tell my story first? Okay, so I'm Alyssa. I live in Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama, the capital. I'm an iOS engineer on an Air Force base. There's Gunner Air Force Base here. So that's my introduction. I would say I got into coding, honestly, just when MySpace came out. That's kind of when I was in peak teenage year. And I was like, you know what? I saw that little edit button or whatever took me to the code. And I was like, you know what? My page is going to be the flyest page on MySpace to exist. So I was like, I got it. I just got into it. I liked it, and I stuck with it ever since then.
Okay. Cool. All right. Is that everybody? Yeah, I guess I should explain how I got into code. All right, it's a long story. All right, so my mom, she had went to school for IT management or something like that. IT something, but it wasn't programming. But she had to take a programming course, and I should go grab the book. Actually, it's out in the garage. But I don't know what I did or I had done or whatever. I had gotten in trouble, and my mom was like, you need to clean the bookshelf. And so I threw a tantrum and I knocked all the books off, right? And then the book that fell on top was the 4th edition Deedle and Deedle Java book. And I remember it looks like a comic book, and I thought it was a comic book. So I picked it up. We had got a computer that had Java on it because you needed it for class. And I literally just started following along. And Well, I grew up, my father went to prison when I was 2. He was in prison for 22 years. And during that time, I guess, my mom and stuff, I told him that I was interested in these computers and stuff. So he actually ended up getting me a subscription for Popular Science and Wired. And oh, Mom, you did computer engineering technology and bachelor's of computer science information technology. My bad. Over here clowning me. So my father, my father was really from behind bars. He pushed me to continue on with tech and stuff, and his him helping me with school and doing like I said, he got the Popular Science and Wired magazine. Those 2 subscriptions really like fostered my life because I was seeing what was going on in the world with computers. Because I was just doing like games and stuff, and it was more of a hobby. But until I started like seeing that, that's when it became like, this is what I want to do. Because for the longest, I wanted to do music. That I didn't tech was cool, but I wanted to do music. So my mother pushing me, my father pushing me. And then, my grandmother, I have a lot of entrepreneurs in my family. Like my grandmother, she owns a hair salon. And a lot of my cousins and stuff, they do their own thing. So when I decided I wanted to start my own company when I was in high school, like everyone in my family was very supportive. And then from there, like after I like got my first like couple clients doing websites and I did like a mobile app and stuff, that kind of just solidified it for me. But yeah. So I got into code by complete accident, by acting like a little dick.
I got a question that might be valuable to some people. Was it for Pariss, right? You said you documented your progress when you were building applications.
Me?
Yeah.
I do that. I don't remember, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Like, what do you feel, like, what benefits do you get from that? Because I know a lot of people that's trying to learn, they also wonder, like my cousin just hit me, he was like, yo, like, I want to start coding and stuff. Should I be like tweeting about it and stuff like that? I don't roll like that. I'm pretty low key. I don't like telling people what I'm doing or nothing. But what are the benefits that you feel come from documenting your progress on Twitter?
No, I think you definitely should, because people, they want to hear about it, because you don't know who's following you and they're at that same level as you. And when you can relate to someone, it feels good. You know what I'm saying? It's really motivational. And if you're talking about something you're doing, someone might be interested, they're going to ask you questions, and it's good to talk about your project, because when you talk about something, you start to form new ideas or better ideas, or you start to figure out the answer to a problem you had. It's like a whole nother, it's like another way of sort of networking. People are here to help you out. And you're gonna learn from your mistakes. And then at the same time, it just feels good. I love going on Twitter and talking about, my own personal project. Oh, I'm doing this. I got this to work. And then I'm getting all these likes. Like, that feels good to me, because I feel like people care and I feel motivated. I'm like, all right, I'm going to really do this. I'm going to keep driving. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just.
So it's a sense of affirmation. You don't feel as alone.
I don't feel alone. Absolutely not. Even if I'm not talking. I'm just telling you guys now, Black Twitter, I don't ever feel alone. I don't have to talk about technology. I never feel alone. You guys are always talking about something.
For sure. I know I'm new. I just came in like this Black Twitter thing like on Friday. Everybody's going crazy about my tweet. But yeah, so thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. To jump in on that, like, you should really like advise people to run like the 100 Days of Code challenge. Like, that right there is like the perfect starting point, because like you get like a really, really good entry into like a great community, and you're able to like commit to like a challenge where you're like learning something like every day and you're tweeting like that progress. Because that also, it just builds you being able to like commit to something that you're trying to do. You're able to accomplish your goal, and you're also able to like network and everything. Because on God, like, all of my opportunities literally came off of Twitter. Like, all the friends that I've made this year literally happened on Twitter, and like everything. Like the first job that I was offered in the summertime of this year was like because of Twitter. So you should really point your friends who are interested in learning how to code to join that challenge, because it could really be monumental for them.
I got a question for you. Is it like a project that you're trying to code up or something like that, or is it just that consistency every day for 100 days straight?
The 100 days of code challenge, or like me wanting to do it?
The 100 days of code challenge.
It's just a pledge. It's just like a pledge to like learn like anything, like learn like a new skill, like language. Like there isn't like a project like associated with it, like indirect or anything. It's just like a hashtag that you use like in your tweet like every day. And usually post like screenshot of your code or something like that.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I know that'll be helpful to a lot of people starting to learn.
Yeah, it actually comes from the 100 days of X. Yeah, like where X is anything. Like you can be 100 days of violin, you know, or whatever. But it's just it's keeping yourself accountable through social self accountability, right? You can't skip a day. You need to let everybody know what's going on, and I mean, it's really cool because you know you getting that support. Yep.
Also, like, I kind of want to like tell like a little bit of like my story, because like listen to like your guys' like backgrounds. You guys like all had like exposure like to, I mean, I'm not gonna say all of you because I don't think I heard everyone's story, but for the most part, most of you had like prior exposure to computer science and programming. For me, I did not know anything about that stuff until last year. Like beforehand, like my interest was not really like into, you know, it was like not in tech. I solely just use like the computer to like look up like different people or like different cultures like on like Wikipedia. Outside of that, like I wasn't like learning how to code through like MySpace or anything like that. And so like how I got into coding was really, I was watching a documentary on someone who's able to like use technology to influence like political power and everything like that. And I thought that was like really cool because like he wanted to like promote change. And it's the guy, Aaron Shorts, who co-founded Reddit. That's the person who inspired me. And so I started like taking like little like tutorials like on Code Academy for like Python or something. And then it led to like other stuff. But yeah, I just like wanted to like let other people know who are like watching that like not everyone has like prior experience to like coding or anything like that. So anyone from like any background can like, you know, get in if they work hard and if they try. So.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I think that's one of the biggest gripes I have. I think getting into computer science is the way it's marketed, especially to kids. Because I feel like when I was a kid, even though, you know, like I knew I liked coding, I was like, I love making my MySpace things. But however, when, you know, I would go to school and all the stuff, they'd be like, build these robots, like code this robot. That's so cool. And I'd be like, I don't want to code a robot. I didn't think it was cool. So I've been working with my community in Montgomery, and I've been trying to think of different ways to market to kids, to get more kids involved in computer science and stuff. Like I did a camp where we taught the kids how to, they used Python and they made music and they loved it. I've never seen so many like little kids and girls just like, oh my gosh, yes, let me, do I put a semicolon here? Ooh. And I thought that was so great because that's just not something I didn't see when I was being exposed to technology while I was in school.
So to that point, I think somebody in the chat had asked a question regarding like the, you know, the best language, the best first language.
Python.
Yeah, Python's a very simple one that you could go different ways. You could go a lot of places with it. But it depends if, you know, you kind of have your front end and your back end. So I feel like for front end, if you're kind of more creative, I think HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, of course, is your go-to. But if you're a more technical type of person, you might lean towards server-side stuff. You probably would learn Python at first.
Does it matter? Because a lot of people, and I'm just kind of just curating questions here, but like a lot of people hear front end, back end. If you're a new person learning how to code, how do you know which one to pick?
Well, I would say the reason why I tell people JavaScript, and before 2009, really 2010, I didn't say that, but after Node.js came out, that's when, to me, you know, I would say JavaScript is like, JavaScript is, I think, is going to be like the, like, you know, common language, kind of like how like everybody talks about C++. You know, everything's written in C++, and I still think C++ is still going to be like the king language. But like as far as like interface, because with JavaScript, you can do web, you can do mobile, you can do server applications, you can do IoT, you can do freaking artificial intelligence work. You know, you get there's parts of operating systems are written in JavaScript and stuff now. You know, so a lot of the widgets and stuff that on your computer, a lot of your widgets are running JavaScript on the V8 engine. I mean, you can transpile to native native Java or iOS. I mean, you can transpile to any language really. I saw a C# JavaScript transpiler. I don't know how good it worked, but the fact is, with one common language, you can write across all these platforms with minimal, if any, sometimes with no modification.
What language would get you the job the quickest?
JavaScript.
Yeah.
Like that, I didn't know that. I just went straight to iOS. I was getting there early.
So I'd say, you know, on that iOS side of things, yeah, I'm kind of biased myself being that that's what I do, but I feel like that's a little bit more niche. And at least I find that in certain markets of depending on where you live, getting the first job as an iOS dev can be pretty hard.
Yeah.
Because it's niche and they tend to favor seniors more than juniors.
Yeah, very true. Now, I can tell you why that is though, because iOS, like pure native mobile app development is on its way out the door.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no.
Allegedly.
React Native.
No, it's more than okay. All right. Oh God,
we opened up Pandora's box now.
Yeah. This is a hot topic.
Okay. All right. So the value of a mobile app has dropped exponentially. Let's take it back to 2006. All right. When the shit was first coming out, you know, like if you wanted to stay competitive, then you needed a mobile app. Okay. Like websites weren't, you know, Ajax was just now coming out, you know, like responsiveness in the web was still kind of like a pipe dream. If you want to stay competitive, you needed to have an app, and you needed to have an Android app and an iOS app. That created an inflation in the market because we didn't have hybrid apps at the time. So you're going to have to shell out basically $150 an hour to get both. Because at the time, like I did iOS development for a time, and I was getting paid $120 an hour. Okay, like that was going through a recruiting firm, so I don't even know how much they were making. And Android developers, you know, you're looking at $75 to $100 an hour. Now, you know, look at the value of a iOS and Android developer. It's hard to find an iOS developer that makes over $100 an hour now. And the Android developers, like, you know, if you can get $75 an hour, then, you know, that's probably like the max you're going to get. And the reason for that is, you know, one, you look at people, they only have like 5 apps on their phone that they use all the time. And it's all the same niches. You got all same sectors: communication, utility, entertainment,
finance,
and games. Well, that can go under entertainment. Yeah. So, but anyway, there's only like 4. You know, so everybody's got the same 5 apps on their phone. Everybody's got their Twitter, their Acorns or Stash or whatever investment thing they're doing. They got their email, texting, and YouTube /SoundCloud/insert whatever app. So most people, like, it's so saturated that, you know, a lot of people it's not even worth it a lot to spend that money to put that out when you can do the same thing with a progressive web app. And now we have WebAssembly, which will allow us to create every feature that you could do in native, you're going to be able to do in the web once the C++ modules are made and compiled with WebAssembly. So all the advantages that native had over web are going to be gone in the next 3 to 5 years. Like the technology is already out. We just need developers to create the modules.
What is that technology called?
I'm sorry?
What's the technology called?
WebAssembly.
WebAssembly.
Yeah.
So I'll agree with you on the fact that the that it is coveted real estate to get somebody to download your app on their phone, because people have a few top ones that they use regularly and then other ones that they try out, so on and so forth. But I've yet to find equal comparisons. I believe it depends on the market that you're in, the type of app that you're building, because not every app that you're building is equivalently as good built on a web framework as it would be natively, because there are just certain things that just don't render as fast, are not as performant. And that's not to like bash either or, it's just, it is what it is.
Right. And that was the whole purpose of WebAssembly.
Yeah.
That to address that issue, because that was the killer issue. Because but now with WebAssembly, you get native speed. You're doing assembly in the web. Like you're talking directly to the metal. Like
right.
I think the issue with this is going to be what's going to go down to it is not whether or not what technology is necessarily better. It's what's more popular and how they market the ideas and what businesses are able to pick up on. Oh, I can do this as a website quicker.
Well, here's another thing too. If you look at the market, when you do B2B apps, you're doing mostly web apps. When you're doing B2C apps, then you're usually doing mobile apps.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the audience, speak to B2B and B2C and A to B and all that.
Right. So business to business apps, those are almost like 90% of them are web apps. They're not going to have all their employees download a mobile app. Stuff like Salesforce and AWS and all these like SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, all these different services are web based. Now when you do business to consumer, like your Ubers, your Airbnb, well, Airbnb is a little different. Actually, I was reading an article about how many people use the web app versus the mobile app. But let's stick with Uber because right now it's more convenient. If you're someone who uses Uber all of the time, you're probably going to download the mobile app because just because right now it just makes it easier to do that. It's like that's just how everything that's just how it goes. It's just easier to do it that way. There will come a time where it's going to be more cumbersome because right now we're in the transition with web apps and stuff, and the way that they're going, that it's really easy. Like even like you can pull up a web app and install it on your phone, and it can it'll run as a web APK on Android. Or if you actually have a mobile app, it'll prompt you to download the mobile app right from within the website. But downloading a mobile app, you got to find the app, you got to download it, you got to accept permissions, you got to sign in, and then probably got to sign back in every now and then because if the OAuth is cleared out or whatever. With a web app, if web app is done, the user interface and stuff is done correctly, they should be able to do the same thing they were doing in the web app. Or in the mobile app, but faster, because you don't have to download it. You don't have to go through all those initial steps. You just go to the URL and do what you got to do. Now, it's really about implementation more than anything else, right? And this and all this stuff is the reason why they're pushing like single page applications. They're pushing stuff like the web payments API for universal checkout forms, because the industry is moving to primarily web application, progressive web applications. And when you see these technologies come out, the IEEE, the Internet Engineering Task Force, the World Wide Web Consortium, when they put out these papers and these proposals and stuff, they're thinking 5 to 10 years down the line. So when these APIs are coming out, they didn't just put out web VR because just for fuck's sake. They're doing it because they're saying like in the next 5 to 10 years, this is going to be a prevalent technology. So go ahead and learn it now. So all the stuff we're learning now is like paying it forward, and so we're mastering it early before the market demands that it becomes mainstream.
So just to kind of like bring it back to those who are looking to learn or in the process of learning, I think the clear or bigger takeaway is knowing how to learn in general and continuously improving your skills, because tech moves fast, it changes, and the better and quicker you can learn, the longer you hang around. It's not so much that it's kind of like, because sometimes I feel like we get into like bashing, well, if you don't do Java, you suck, or if you don't do Android or Kotlin or Swift or mobile or web. But the key is just really mastering your craft and being teachable so that you could continue to learn whatever the market dictates and go from there.
I think it's important to point out that once you're an engineer and you know one language very well, it's not that hard to shift to a different platform.
Right.
No.
It's more important for you to get the fundamentals down, because an array is always going to be an array, whether it's Python, Swift, like whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever the hell it is. But once you get the fundamentals down, I'll say that everybody learning, like, it's a tough process. I know it's hard. I did it. I'm going to be up late. Like, it's going to be 3 a.m. and you can't parse data or something like that. Like, once you get the fundamentals down, like, you'll be set. Like, once an engineer, always an engineer, and you're always going to be looking to solve the next problem, whether it's in Python or JavaScript or whatever.
Right. And people, I get a lot of junior developers that always ask, like, how long did it take to learn this? And honestly, the time frame kind of never ends, because like we're saying, things are always changing and updating. So you always just have to kind of keep up with it. So there's no, I learned this in like 3 weeks. Like, you learned it, but if it's going to change down the line, you don't actually, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't give this set time frame. Everyone's going to learn at their own pace. And then at the same time, technology is constantly evolving. You just got to keep up with it.
Yeah. And that's the thing that makes it cool, man. Like, you're never going to be stuck learning this one thing unless that's what you want to do. Like, even I think it was like 8 months between Swift 3 and Swift 4 or some shit like that. It was quick.
Yeah, quick. Yeah.
Super quick. They pushed that boy out fast. Swift 5 about to come out.
Yep. Yeah, Laravel, the new Laravel just came out, and I gotta do that every time the new Laravel comes out. I update all my projects, because usually the update guide per version is not that much. But if you wait like 2-3 versions, you're gonna have to overhaul like everything. Crypto Gal has said a few things, and I wanted to address. I'm starting to see more roles for functional developers. Is there anyone with functional programming here? Haskell, OCOM, or Clojure? Jerome Parker, your thoughts on functional programming? So yes. Oh yeah. My engineer right here, he does Elixir. That's functional programming. I'm biased because I started off as an OOP programmer, and I'm just kind of hardwired to think, OOP style. Functional programming, a lot of old school programmers like bash on it, say it's obsolete or whatever. But actually, I was reading an article on, I think it was Medium, talking about like the rise of functional, like the reemergence of functional programming. Yeah, everything has its place. Everything has its strengths and weaknesses. So, I will tell people to learn a functional language and learn an OOP language, because you don't know when and where you might want to use it. I did a little bit of Clojure at Apple, not too much, just like it was like 2 weeks worth of stuff. I have done Haskell before. I do a lot of like Perl. I did a lot of Perl in college. It's not something that is better or worse. It's just, if that's something that you like to do, then you probably should. Whichever one that you're better at, OOP or functional, that's be what you probably like primary in. And I would also suggest having a language that's the opposite of whatever you decide to choose. But anybody who has both functional and OOP skills are obviously going to be more valuable as a developer or engineer. But it's not a this or that type of thing.
I was going to add, like, there's not, I don't think you don't necessarily have to think of functional programming in the sense of like a programming language like Haskell, or because there's ways to do same sort of functional programming sort of paradigms in Swift even.
And JavaScript.
and JavaScript, right? So it's not just a language thing, it's more of an approach and design sort of thing that can be across anything.
So like object-oriented programming is good. Like that's good for when you have like a fixed set of operations on a set of things, okay? And as your code evolves, you're going to add more things, but not necessarily more operations, all right? Functional programming is good when you have a fixed set of things, but as your code evolves, you need to add more operations on the existing things. Okay? So it just depends on what you're doing for that job. You know, are you going to be adding more operations, or are you going to be adding more things for those operations to be enhanced to be ran on? And that's going to determine whether you're going to do a functional logic versus object-oriented logic. And to Mark's point, you know, you can do those paradigms. Like you can do functional programming in an OOP language and vice versa.
So I think of it like I always say everything, it's like a toolbox, right? You have all these tools in your toolbox, and the term based on the task that you have at hand, you reach into your toolbox and you grab a tool. It doesn't mean that you have to always use those tools, but there are certain tools that best fit for certain jobs. I think of all of these design patterns, paradigms, languages of just tools in your toolbox. You learn it, you put it in your toolbox, and when you need it, you go for it.
I agree. That makes sense. Also, it's important to keep in mind scalability when you code too. So just because it works right, just because it might be a quick fix, but you got to come up with solutions that will scale, like with the application that you're building as well.
Which you'll tend to see that you'll see that more when you're working on like company production applications,
that's what I mean,
as opposed to like projects that you do for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say that even when you build your own project, you shouldn't be thinking about scalability and refactoring. But you know, sometimes we all tend to want to cut corners when it's just my project, it's just me working on it. No one else is gonna see it.
It doesn't hurt to practice like, you know, clean coding practices though.
Of course.
Yeah. I see what you're saying though. I do agree.
Fair enough. Let's see.
Hey everyone, I just joined. I just wanted to stop by. Andrew here. Left a question earlier about hiring efficiently, not effectively, but I just joined a startup maybe a year and a half ago and went from a team of 7, now we're 50 plus, maybe hiring 5 people a week. So that's what I meant by efficiently. We're committed to like building a diverse team. And so finding Black people in tech, finding Black people in general in tech and in design has been very difficult. And so I'm just trying to figure out how I can continuously reach out and make sure you guys see that we're hiring and kind of keep those resumes coming.
What's the company?
Abstract. Go abstract.com.
Abstract.com.
I just don't want to be spamming and dropping like links and stuff like that. So I want to make sure.
Drop it. We're sharing resources.
All right.
And like put that as jobs channel.
So I'll drop it in this YouTube.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, that'll pop up on the I gotta show it. There we go.
But yeah, it's watching this company grow, watching the kind of core team that was there from the get-go be so committed to making sure we hire and try to change
where is it located?
The tech industry. So it's a remote company, but the headquarters is in San Francisco.
I think my cousin works there. You make me want to call her. I swear, I think she works there.
What's her name?
Helen.
Helen? Maybe. Like I've been able to keep up with most people's names up until about just recently, and now it's starting to like.
Yeah, fair enough. She's HR though, so.
Okay. Does she work? Edgardo and Kamani heads our HR stuff.
What is abstract?
So it's like version control for designers. So like think GitHub, GitLab, but same concept for design tools. So Sketch, hopefully Illustrator, Photoshop, etc. Basically introducing kind of like branch control or branch and merging and all that stuff to designers and kind of scale their workflow.
Gotcha.
It actually looks pretty good too.
All right, we've been out here for a minute. Let's see. Let's see. I know we got some more questions in here. So what's everybody's end game? What are y'all trying to do?
I'm trying. Goals?
Yeah, what are your goals?
I say this all the time. My goal is to get to a high level. Well, I have an app that I hope takes off. But anyway, I want to use tech or leverage technology to make tons of money, save money, but also put it into real estate. And then from real estate, buy up all this property and get passive income, and then live the rest of my life like in Greece or something. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, cool.
I have the same goals. I want my app or whatever company that I want to build to take off. But really, real estate is my goal because I refuse to raise a family off one source of income. I got to have at least three. I'm working on the second one. I have bread in the beginning of the year, but I'm getting money. So I'm trying to get my real estate game together. This way, I could build longevity and stuff with my family and shit. So.
Word. Yeah, what about you, Mark?
For me, it's really, I'm just trying to learn as much as I can learn so that I can serve my community as best as I possibly can. So for me, it's like, I just figured the more I learn, the more I can network, the better resource I can be for those who are trying to get in, but can't get in. Because I feel like it's a disservice to teach people if you haven't kind of gone through the process yourself to learn the ins and outs, to make sure that like they know all of the, like you're teaching them the right way. So for me, the more I can meet others and teach, I realize that because tech is that equal opportunity employer, so to speak, where like literally it puts everybody on the level playing field. I just want to give people that chance. That's what I want.
Okay. What about Alyssa?
Honestly, I just want to open up an arcade.
I just went to a round one the other day. I love arcades. Okay, cool. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. Asante or Andrew?
Andrew, one of them. Yeah, I've been trying to build cool shit. But right now, honestly, I'm trying to hire all of y'all so we can change the way people work, because I've been building. So like this stuff, I've been doing tech for almost 15 years now. Like I've been at it since I was in middle school, like where it was the geeky, nerdy thing to be doing. And so I've just been at it every day. You guys are saying like 100 days of coding, try like 1,000+ days of it just constantly in and out. And so I've done my own startup. I've failed with it, succeeded and failed with it. And here I am at another company doing the same thing, same mission, same goal. Leadership team's fully committed to like providing resources and whatever we need to get things done. And so just trying to make it happen.
For sure.
Yeah.
I wasn't here for the question.
What's your end goal? What are your goals?
Oh, in life, like probably I would say just be a CTO or just a C-level suite executive dealing, towards technology within a company. That's really it. Or, do all this tech stuff without having to worry about a paycheck or rent or anything. That would be cool too.
Okay. All right. I guess that's everybody. Yeah. So I just want to do hood rat things with my friends. No, I'm just playing. So I've been last couple of years I've been working on residual income with my apps. I wrote a medical billing app for this anesthesia company in Indiana, and I get 1%. I get 1% from them, and they've processed over $1 million so far, and that like was literally paying all my bills at one point, and I was able to just pocket all my regular income money, and that motivated me to try to expand that. So I'm actually working on that, and we're gonna license them. I'm partnering with them since they were the first people they asked to do it or whatever. So we're gonna partner up. They know a whole bunch of other medical companies who would like to use the software, and I'm trying to branch that out. And also to Dollar's point, I'm getting into real estate as well. Me and my brother, he's a professional Twitch streamer. So we're both taking our money and getting into real estate. We're looking at some houses earlier today, actually. But yeah, so yeah, doing the apps and real estate. Eventually, I want to sell my jQuery Solutions. I eventually want to sell it with the contracts to a bigger company like Tech Systems or something. But if that either that or just appoint a CEO and just be chairman and just sit back and run it, because I love consulting. I love my company, but that's just a headache when you get up to scale running, managing engineers and all those different contracts and stuff. And what's the point in having the money if you're too stressed to do anything with it. So that's my exit strategy, is to have apps in real estate. All right, so
everybody on this real estate game, I'm late to the party.
Well, and they ain't never too late to join.
All about the passive income,
right? Real estate ain't going nowhere.
Never going nowhere.
Hey, so let me. What about this is really off topic. Because I'm really, is solar staying or is it going? Is it a thing or is it not? Because I'm really on the line. I don't understand.
Is it? Repeat it.
Solar power. Is it gonna be good here for good forever, or is it just a thing?
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely here forever. You go to I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, so I'm not gonna try to say something and be wrong. But yeah, the advances in what is that called, Dylan? What is it called when you turn light? Is it photovoltaic electricity? Is that what it's called?
Oh, you're talking about
when you turn light to electricity? Photovoltaic.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, there's the advancements in photovoltaic, circuits and stuff is going crazy. So they got it now where there's clear panes you to stick on your office windows, and you can put them, you can daisy chain them together at infinity, and they just grab stuff from the sun, and they're see-through, you can't even tell. So I think once they figure out a way to continue being greedy and capitalize on income generated from it, we'll suddenly see miraculous bounds in technology. But I think the cat's out of the bag. Eventually, it's going to get here. It's just a matter of when it's going to be mainstream.
Yeah, fair enough.
You don't have to believe in global warming before it becomes mainstream.
Global warming and flat Earth theory.
Right.
All right. Does anybody have any more questions? Anybody want to jump in? Mom, you are being extra on my chat. Let's see. Andrew, or any of the Andrew, Hannah Abdi is asking, are any of the roles remote because she's in London?
I just replied back, but most of them are remote. Internationally, it's kind of iffy. We have people in Canada, we have people in Europe, but it's they either moved to Europe or it was special case through some other stuff. But definitely reach out and see what happens. But most remote. Everything else is remote.
Do you are these full time or contracts?
Full time.
Okay. Do you only work full time? You don't work contracts at all?
I think they do some contract stuff. Like when I very first started, I started contract for like a week. I think early on people would start on a contract for a week or two and then kick off to full time. But
and
I think right now everything's full time. Yeah, it's in San Francisco. Off of Golden Gate, 255 Golden Gate.
Yep, know exactly where that's at. All right. All right. Cool. I think we'll take a few more questions, and then I think we should schedule for the next call before we get off here.
I agree.
All right.
Let's do
it. What's good with everybody? I like this. I like that Sunday at 5.
I like it too.
Yeah. Let's move.
Cool. All right. So what do you got? What we're gonna talk about next time? We want to actually start talking. We can brainstorm about the project we're gonna do.
I think we should start a chat or a poll of questions or topics and kind of let the community decide.
I think Pariss got a Discord.
I got a channel that asks about what people want to hear about for the next time.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and create an event for next Sunday at 5, and I'll tweet out the link and stuff. And then in the meantime, I guess everybody go to the Discord. Let's get it popping.
Cool. I'll be hitting you up, Big Boss right there, Jaron. I'll be hitting you up about some hacking stuff. Madala, I'll be hitting you up with that GitHub, and everybody else in the Discord. I will see y'all. I got seafood waiting, so.
Hey, I'm eating teriyaki chicken right now.
Where's the Discord link?
Oh yes. Pariss, can you please post that one more time? And did you tweet it? If you tweet it, I'll retweet you.
I did tweet it. It's somewhere now.
All right.
I thought it was in the channel. Let's see.
Well, I hope everyone has a good and productive week and that their Monday gets started off to a blast, and hopefully it's not a sucky Monday as it tends to be.
Same as you.
Yeah, same to you, man. For sure.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Cool. I got the Discord channel right here. I'm gonna tweet this out. And otherwise, guys, stay black, stay proud, stay hacking.
All right, y'all.
All right. Peace.